Hey guys, Steve here. Today we got to look at the Giulio Cesare, Caesar, who knows how to say that one. Our boy Payload de Revel on the screen there. You can see 14.2 levels into this guy. That's functionally maxed in my book. That means basically that's as many promotion orders and insignias as I'm planning on putting on that guy, at least for the next year to 2 years, as we're maxing out the rest of the commanders that we get in the game. Here we got a game on ring domination mode game. Had a lot to choose from here. This is an early impressions video. If you're new to my channel, I'm a community contributor for Wargaming. They give me the new premium ships to preview. I go ahead and play them. Roughly 10 games is my sweet spot usually. Then I put a video together and give you my thoughts for those of you that are looking at the premiums, trying to figure out if they would fit your playstyle or not. Tier 4, we got a lot of sweet, kind of nearly overpowered premiums, if not outright overpowered premiums in this tier. Nikolai 1, Kamikaze, Othoknik, Marblehead FE. You know, is the Caesar going to be in that mix? Well, it appears to be quite strong. You know, I mean, this is a low tier ship, and, you know, low tiers are what they are. But we had a lot of juicy footage to choose from, let's just put it that way. Right off the bat, I'm licking my chops here. We got a division of 3 battleships in the game, and they luckily spawned on my side. Now, I'm looking at all these guys just as HP pinatas, essentially. But we're going to try and play this smart as well. We can assume our cruiser that's charging into them's not going to last very long. Then we got another cruiser to our west. But they have an Omaha coming in here. We're not just focused on getting the damage right off the bat. Battleship players usually too focused on only shooting battleships, going for those juicy salvos. Big damage comes to those who wait, said Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He also said, "He gone," which is exactly what happened to that Omaha when we blew him up. What we want to be doing as battleships, finding those cruisers, taking them out. Removing guns from the enemy team's lineup like that, especially high DPM guns like a fast-firing cruiser such as the Omaha. Get rid of them. That relieves the pressure on us over here. We're not worried about those torpedoes. I can't think of a single ship at Tier 4 that has torpedoes that go very far, so we don't know what that is, but I'm not really concerned about it. Must be their one destroyer since we got smoke over there. Anyway, like a boss battle in Zelda, remove the kind of minor bosses first, the minor damage dealers. Those cruisers, potentially the destroyers, get rid of them. That mentality is causing us to fire at this Gus here as well. Now I'm trying to, in my mind, be fully turned away from these guys by the time we come around this island. This was a risk though, because I had to turn back in to get that shot off at the Gus. Didn't do anything. We got like 1 overpen, so that was high risk, low reward in this case. You can see now we're basically broadside here. I'm steaming forward as quick as possible, trying to get this island between us and them to block most of this incoming damage, because that's potentially KO time for the ship when we come around. And we're perfectly broadside at 3 battleships on the enemy team. Luckily, due to a bit of luck and probably some new players on the other team, we get away from that situation alive and intact. Now coming around this island, we've achieved a nice steep firing angle. You can see that on the diagram there. And now we got the Königsberg behind us. He's shooting AP. Not going to bother us. Even these guys over here, these low tier 3 and tier 4 type battleships. At this angle, I have no idea what the armor scheme is on this Caesar. We'll see when the armor view shows up sometime in the near future, hopefully. But against the guns we're mainly facing, maybe not all the tier 5 guns, but tier 4, tier 3, I find at these type of angles, those are the type of results we can expect. Largely mitigating the incoming fire, putting out the big damage, going the other direction. So this thing can definitely hit. We only have the one commander, by the way, Apollo. So you have the option of Brawler or damage con / fire reduction, I believe, in first slot. Which would give you more range. I actually haven't tried that out. I've kind of gone with this build since we tried the Roma, which is the campaign reward ship, and then now this one, which we just got this morning. But you can see here we're getting huge damage. Accuracy seems fine, so maybe extending the range could be worthwhile. Those of you that have tested that out so far, let me know in the comments. I know a lot of you guys haven't played much in the way of Italian battleships yet, but I'm sure some of you have, so if you have, let me know what your builds are like. Anyway, New York here, you can see one shot, individually firing those guns instead of full salvos. That was because he was essentially a one shot to us. He had about 1,000 health left, and then he was juicy and broadside. So we fired 2 just to be on the safe side, but saved that extra salvo. Here we got the Farragut on the enemy team coming around now. This looks like we got a huge insurmountable lead. We got 3 caps to none. We got a ship lead, just extending it by another ship there. I'm trying to shoot a highlight reel type game here. I got 3 juicy battleships broadside to me. This guy's throwing a wrench into the playbook here, so that's a little frustrating. Luckily, it's a Farragut, so if we're sailing away from it, he can't really torp us just due to the short length of those torpedoes. I have no idea what's going on in this shot here. It seems like I'm zoomed in like ultra zoom max. I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing some sort of optical illusion there on that one, but even watching this replay back, I'm like, what the heck was that? I have no idea. Anyway, I'm pinging that guy, trying to get some help here. What the Orion's going to do, who knows. But this guy, he's sitting in the smoke now. This is going to be kind of instructive on both ends of it. Number one, he can set us on fire. He can do a little bit of damage. We're angled towards him, mind you. That does help with incoming HE shells. We're going to stop the raw damage in the tracks. And if he gets a fire, he gets a fire. Not much we can do about it. Still got heals in the bank, so, you know, we're not really taking a lot of damage from this guy here. Again, we're angled. We're sailing away from him, so the torpedo threat isn't that big of a deal. So, yes, he can start us on fire, but he also really can't do that much to us. So, once we kind of figure that out and calm down a little bit here, we're just going to go back to dealing with these battleships who are... all they want to do is sink me. They've really not tried to play the objective or try to gain advantageous map position at all this game. They've just been trying to fight me, which is fine. I suspect they're probably new players, so we're not going to get on them too much for how they're playing the game. But again, Farragut here, we're just going to kind of leave him alone. I suppose we should talk about the stats here. We got 45.5 thousand HP. Guns, 10 guns, 4 turrets, 320 calibers. Range, 13.3 with the Brawler build plugged in. Same thing with the reload. We got 25.6. So those of you that are wondering how much the Apollo as an inspiration is going to influence your battleship, I don't actually think reload's a good thing to spend inspirations on or really legendary perks in a lot of instances, just because... think about this for a second. We got a 30-second base reload on this. I put in the default Dewey Italian on here. Came up with 30-second reload. Brawler, which is a stronger influence, plus Apollo's base trait. Get it down to 25.6. Huge reduction. Don't get me wrong. That's almost a 6 reduction, which in terms of raw percentage, I think it's about 15. Farragut, a little bit of revenge there for being a pest earlier. Shoot your destroyers. Make them pay. But anyway, 4.4 second reduction. I mean, it is big, but we're getting about a 4.5% reduction, I think, with this Apollo build. So that's accounting for about 2 seconds of it. Brawler is probably the balance, which is more than the inspiration. So I don't tend to favor these reload type perks as strongly. I think there's better options personally. Maybe you disagree. AP damage, 9,700. We don't care about the HE chance since these are these high velocity lasers. We're not shooting HE in this. Speed, 27 knots. Very good. Just 1 knot behind tier best Congo. Turn radius, 640. Outstanding there. Rudder shift, 13. Not too shabby. Detection, 12.7. Best at the tier. The Italian cruisers and battleships all seem to have very strong detection. You could consider throwing your Condo into the Apollo build if you understand how to use detection as a battleship player. Usually most valuable late game. In situations like this where once that destroyer is gone, we can control, it's not as strong for a brawler build like this, but if you switched out the perk slot 1 to give yourself more range, then you can keep these guys outside of the blue circle on your map, inside of the white circle. Fire your guns. By the time you reload, you've already disappeared on their screen, so you can kind of control the engagement that way. So can be valuable if you understand how to use the concealment. It's a little bit different in terms of what you're trying to do than cruisers or destroyers. All three ships can use concealment quite well. They just all use it in a little bit different manner typically. Anyway, here you can see we're just shy of 150k. We're going to run out of time in this game just due to the score ticking up through 1,000, but it would have been 150k on that salvo, which is a lot of damage for a tier 4 battleship. So let's look at the Cesare for you guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, well, consider subscribing. There's so much more World of Warships coming down the pipe. I think you might want to stay tuned. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.